Fantastic Four is an action-adventure beat-em-up game that is based heavily on the 2005 film of the same name. It features the events of all four characters from the film that are reprising the roles from some of the most iconic actors that would have been seen in the film during that time to reprise their roles. The game itself would be followed by Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer that would release in 2007, also from Activision. And the game primarily plays from a third-person perspective that takes place from many scenes throughout the film to try and retell the story of what happened to the characters and how they got their powers and what happened to them after and how they're able to deal with them. So essentially the game starts off playing through the game before certain events occur that causes them to get their powers in the first place, and then you end up having to play through each of the characters individually at different points in order to get them to come together as a unit, to work as a team before going out and having their own individual missions that will take them throughout many other scenes in the environments that were within the film itself, but also kind of have different side scenarios with different objectives along the way. But the emphasis of the game is really around combat and just beating the crap out of anything that moves. But you will find, as because it's a beat 'em up, there is a repetitive nature to the experience, because you'll find yourself fighting the same types of enemies over and over again within each of the levels that you'll face. But you do have the ability to manipulate different environmental elements, like when you're playing as the bigger characters, you can pull down likes of grids or even walls down on top of enemies in order to dispatch them a lot quicker. But you will have to face off against a multitude of different boss characters as well, so you will have to use anything at your disposal, even your special moves, in order to take them out quickly. The game is fun, but would it be the best beat 'em up out there? Probably not, but it does have enough appeal, and if you're a fan of the Fantastic Four film, then there's no harm in giving it a go. But in saying that, the game was met with mixed reception, but although it still sold quite well in terms of sales. But in many ways the game was also the entry point that would pave the way for the popular Marvel Ultimate Alliance that would release sometime later, as that was a very popular game on the system at the time. Even the music that was composed for the game was distinctive for each of the characters as well, so it added to the unique appeal of the story and all the elements within. But there was a lot of movie inspired games like this that were released on the system, and this is just but one of many. You had a load of them from the Marvel universe that had all of these elements, from the likes of the Incredible Hulk, even with Spider-Man and other popular characters within the Marvel universe itself. But the majority of them would end up being beat 'em ups, because again, it would have been one of the most popular genres, especially including superheroes, as fighting and combat is usually the main element of the story or the scene. But each of the four characters that you play is at different points. You can play in co-op modes with your friends, defeat waves of enemies, so you can use all of the different character traits, which will be useful even in the story later on, because each of the characters have their own distinctive abilities that will allow them to take advantage or manipulate different situations as you play. So you can utilise the different characteristics to suit your own play style, especially if you're playing with a group of friends. But if you do like beat 'em ups, right, it's not the best one out there, but it will appeal to fans of that genre, and it might be worth a look. Plus, if you're a fan of the film, there's no harm in giving it a try. With that being said, it would be interesting to hear your thoughts on this and what did you think of it overall. Are you a fan of the movie? Are you a fan of this particular game within the genre? Or are you just a fan of beat 'em ups in general? So be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you would like to see more content around more movie inspired games like this that also saw a release on the platform, then you can check out this playlist right here.